guys, Jessie here from Black Cats and Cards. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be going through my July wrap-up and my August TBR. Sorry if you can hear my cat playing in the background. She has a catnip ball treat toy thing. I was hoping that it would kind of distract her and stop her from messing around in here. Turns out the thing's really loud when it hits the floor. So I'm going to get started. I realize my phone is across the room, but I'm going to try and do this without it. Physical books that I finished is pretty easy. Umami is the only book that I finished. It is a book that I got out from the library, and it follows five different people who all live in the same house cluster in Mexico City. I didn't love it. The first 3/4 of the book were really tough for me to get through. I didn't like the way that the book was set up. Timeline-wise was very confusing for me, and things didn't really start to make sense until the last quarter of the book. But I am glad that I finished it, and I did enjoy it by the end. But I think this is the book that kind of put me in a bit of a reading slump for July, because if you watched my July TBR, I had big plans. I was gonna finish all kinds of things, and for this to be the only physical book that I finished is a little bit sad for me. So there's that. Books that I listened to, let me see if I'm gonna get the titles right. The Lost for Words Bookshop. I don't know the author. I'm gonna put it here so you guys can see it, and hopefully the author's name will be on the page as well. I think I might have to take that away from her. But I finished that. I really, really liked that. It was not super predictable. It was, it followed one character, Loveday, who works in a used bookstore, and kind of goes into her backstory a little bit, and it was full of twists and turns, so every time that I thought I had the story figured out, it would kind of shift, and I had to look at it from a different perspective and try and figure out what happened and who did what, and it was a really good book. I really enjoyed it. I would definitely recommend it. And then the second one that I listened to was the Kiss Quotient. I finally read it, or listened to it, whatever. And I loved it. I loved that book. I am actually currently listening to The Bride Test, the second book from the same author, and I'm loving that as well. The only thing... Luna? Okay, hang on. Okay, toy has been taken away. I don't know why, but those catnip ball toys make her drool like crazy. It's super gross. But anyway, the Kiss Quotient. It follows a girl who has Asperger's. I think she's 30. Now she's playing with a paper bag. Yeah, so it follows a girl who has Asperger's, which is a very high-functioning autism, and she wants to get better at relationships and sex and all of that kind of stuff, so she decides to hire a male escort because he's a professional and he will know how to teach her and all of that. So it just kind of follows that sort of idea that she has, and how their relationship expands from there. And I loved the book. I loved the story. What I didn't realize when I started listening to it is that it actually is in the romance genre, so there were some quite steamy scenes that I was not prepared for when I was listening to this with headphones on my way to work. But they were also very well written, and it was great. If you like romance and you want something a little bit different, I would definitely recommend it. Give it a try. Okay, so on to my August TBR section of this. Sorry, I have like books everywhere here. It's kind of a mess. I'm not looking forward to cleaning up after I finish filming all these videos. I'm going to start with audiobook TBR actually. I'm going to go a little bit easy on myself, and I'm only going to plan to read 2 audiobooks because I do have a week off from work, and I typically listen to audiobooks on my way to and from. So I'm going to finish the Bride Test, which I started yesterday on the 1st. I'll put that here. It actually follows another character that was mentioned in the Kiss Quotient, but he didn't really appear in it. But it basically follows a Vietnamese man who is in California, and his mother goes to Vietnam to find him a wife, and she comes back with this girl who has to kind of win his heart and convince him that he should get married and all of that, while he doesn't believe that he can love. He's also on the autism scale. I believe he also has Asperger's. So it's been really interesting so far, and it is also in the romance genre, so like be prepared for steamy scenes, or I haven't really reached a steamy scene in that one yet, but I'm sure they're coming. But definitely prepare yourself if you're like listening to it at work or something. Maybe not one to listen to at work. Hello. I'm filming. What do you want me to do? Oh, please don't do that. Second book that I'm going to listen to, I actually do have a physical copy of. It is The Chalkman. I think I started listening to like the first chapter of it a while back, but I didn't finish it. I would very much like to read this. I've heard fabulous things about it. So I'm going to listen to it this month instead of sitting down to actually read it. It's not very long, so I'll probably get through it quite quickly, and I probably will listen to another book, but I'm just not sure what I want to listen to at the moment. So that is that for audiobooks. I'm kind of keeping my expectations low-ish. And then on to physical books that I would like to finish. The Pearl Sister by Lucinda Riley in the Seven Sisters series. I very much want to get through this. The books definitely do increase in size, I think, throughout the series, but they are fantastic. This follows a sister who goes to Australia. So I am excited to read this and see about her history and learn a little bit more about her life. Very well written. The characters are fantastic. If you haven't tried the Seven Sisters series, pick up the first book and give it a shot. I didn't think I would like it, and I ended up loving it. So, yeah. Another one that has been on my TBR before, and I still have not gotten to, Legendary by Stephanie Garber. And I actually did pick up a finale for this as well. So I do have the final book, and I can finish the series, so maybe that will kind of push me to actually read this. I loved Caraval, so I'm not sure why it's taken me so long to get to this. Maybe I don't want it to be ruined, just in case I don't like this one. And then we have The Illusionists by Rosie Thomas. This was on my TBR last month as well, and I just didn't get to it. Like I said, I was kind of in like a reading funk, reading slump, whatever you want to call it. I wasn't really reading anything. this month I'm feeling good. I really want to get into this. I've had it on my shelf for ages, so I'm excited to finally read it. So that's that one. And then I've just got two. I just fell to the floor. Two more. These two, and they are smaller books. The Alchemist. I really want to get to this. I've heard fantastic things about it, and I just can't believe I haven't read it yet. So very excited to get into this one. I could probably finish it in a day. Maybe when I get my my oral surgery, I might read this one. And Lillith by George MacDonald. If you watched my July book and witchy haul, I talked about this a little bit and how I found it. It's another like not long book. I'm excited to get into this and read it because of the people who blurbed it on the back, J.R.R. Tolkien and C.S. Lewis. So that to me promises me that it's going to be a good book. So I'm very excited about this one. And yeah, I'm excited to get back into reading this month. I'm a little bit behind on my goal to finish 75 books a year. And that's pretty much it. Drop in the comments below like what's on your TBR. What did you finish in July? Did you hit a reading slump as well, or did you way exceed what you thought you were going to read? I want to hear all about it. Tell me, give me book suggestions as well, because clearly I need more books on my shelf that I haven't read yet. But yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I hope that you guys have a good day, week, month, and year. Love and light. Bye guys.